Okay, Puma. Chain 5 minutes. Am I audible? Archana, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. I can hear you very clearly.
Thank you.
Marhaba.
Meditation okay. So online this
While waiting, get ready for meditation. Close your eyes, join your hands. Keep your spine straight. With the whole body, be blessed with prosperity. Be blessed with everything. Clearance practice. atmosphere around us is being purified by the divine. The atmosphere around us is being purified by the divine. The atmosphere around us is being purified by the divine. The divine path descends upon us. We are being purified and blessed. The divine path descends upon us. We are being purified and blessed. The divine path descends upon us. We are being purified and blessed. May the divine protection protect us, guide us, lead us day and night at all times, all places, and in all our life. Salutations to Mother. Salutations to Father. Salutations to the Vedanta Maharshi. Meditation, Shanti meditation. Blessed are the divine. It is like the meditation. Other solutions, by the grace of the divine, may we all enjoy good health, long life, prosperity, wisdom, and happiness. By the grace of the divine, may we all enjoy good health, long life, prosperity, wisdom, and happiness. By the grace of the divine, may we all enjoy good health, long life, prosperity, wisdom, and happiness. Blessings. Vedanta performed by the Vedanta Maharshi, World Community Service Center, Arya Temple of Consciousness, Vedanta Maharshi College of Yoga, Community Physical Education State University, those who have joined us in today's meditation and their family, before moral culture, I in my lifetime shall not cause any harm to anybody. Respect my best, frequent series of others. I in my lifetime will not cause any harm to anybody. Respect my best, frequent series of others. I in my lifetime shall not cause any harm to anybody. Respect my best, frequent series of others. May the whole world be blessed with prosperity and peace. Be blessed forever. May the peace prevail within us. May the peace prevail around us with a peaceful land all over the world. Peace, peace, peace. Check the other ones. Raise the eyes. Put your hands up. Bring your palms. Take a deep breath. Put your hands down and lift your arms. Wide open.
Thank you, Arnama, for conducting the meditation. And I now request Principal of Advisable Yoga, Dr. S.K. Prakash, sir, to welcome the guest.
Good morning, Manata. A warm welcome to today's speaker, Session-Yoglish-25.03.2022, faculty, students. Today's lecture, first of its kind in few aspects. The first, generally we conduct this lecture, the predominant topic will be Vedathriyam or yoga. But today we are conducting a guest lecture. Yes, yoga also is related to the subject, but English, the language is the predominant subject today. The other first of this kind is we are going to conduct this program with the resource person from abroad. And Mrs. Archana Vishwanathan Gupta, she is a senior faculty in Oman. More details, Shanti Madam will give. So she is more knowledge and more interested to give language skills through the skill-based kind of base. So I'm a warm welcome, ma'am, Archana Vishwanathan. Ma'am is on the line.
Thank you. Thank you very much for introducing me, Dr. S.K. Prakash. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Okay. And we have UG and PG courses, but English is the medium of instruction. This Vedathriyam Maharishi College of Yoga is regular, full-time English medium courses. So we have UG English papers will be there. In PG we have communications. But still, there are certain students who are good in English. There are certain students who came from Tamil language. They could not join with the mainstreams. They have certain communications problem. So English is a language. It's a language. But it is, if you have more interested, more English language skills, you can able to communicate in a better and confident way. So that language skill is lacking, people could not able to communicate in a better. So we are doing our internal meetings, we identify there is a gap in this. So we are fill the gap actually. We are conducting various programs to fill the gap. One such program is we are conducting this program related to the more on the English words. So already related to this English, we are in the discussions and other programs are going on. So I request once again a warm welcome to of Vedathriyam Maharishi College of Yoga. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Assistant Professor B. Shantiman to give an introductory speech about Dr. Archana Vishwanathan.
Thank you, Arjun. வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். குரு வாழ்க, Good evening. Good morning to all. So we planned this workshop a month ago, but now only the time has come to conduct the workshop. Okay, now we have the resource person, Mrs. Archana Vishwanathan Gupta. She is a senior lecturer in English language in the University of Technology and Applied Sciences at ITRI in the Sultanate of Oman. She took her master's degree in English language and literature from the University of Calicut and started her career as a school teacher in Kerala. Later, she earned a CELTA from the University of Cambridge and took a teacher specializing in English language. After moving to Singapore, she continued her passion of teaching and later moved to the Sultanate of Oman. With over 15 years in the teaching field, she has an experience teaching in a multicultural environment and an expert in teaching English language as a foreign and second language. She was also a speaking examiner for the English for Speakers of Other Languages examination, which is conducted by the British Council. She has conducted various workshops for teachers in classroom management and making teaching English easier. She has also given motivational speeches to students in India and women. Her skills in classroom management and assisting beginners with language acquisition is worth mentioning. Mrs. Archana is also a former athlete who broke P.T. Usha's record in 100 meters in the Calicut University athletic meet. She won gold medals in 100 and 200 meters for 2 consecutive years in the All India University athletic meets in the year 2000 and 2001. She won gold medals in the National Junior Athletic Meet as well as in the Senior Athletic Meet. Great personality we have here as the resource person today. Now, on behalf of our college and on behalf of all of you, we welcome her to this workshop. Let us request her to start the session. Varhavalamudan, ma'am.
Varhavalamudan. Thank you, Mrs. Shanti, for giving me an introduction. I feel very humbled and very honored. It's a great view. I can see that the students are all wonderful future yogis, I believe. Let me also thank Dr. Jayaprakash, your principal, and also the other assistant professors who are over there. Thank you very much. It was a very blissful meditation session. I really enjoyed it. I wish I could be more involved with the Vedatri Maharshi's College of Yoga and its yogic teachings. Okay, so today the workshop is titled as Better English for Yoga. I will try to incorporate some kind of language elements and some kind of techniques which will help to improve your English. Talking about yoga and English, they are very mutually beneficiary. Today, the most popular YouTube yoga teacher is Adrienne Mishler. She is a yogi from USA who has a big fan base of 10.6 million subscribers. And I hope to see you all somewhere there someday. And as we know, YouTube is a popular medium of giving, various kind of instructions. And it's a very popular way of earning a very solid income. And ECS Residential Summer School in the UK, in the United Kingdoms, they use yoga to teach English. And they have termed their yoga and English subject together. It's called as Yoglish. I hope you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Thank you, thank you. So Yoglish is a combination of yoga and English, where yoga is used to teach English nowadays. Yoga, as you know, it's becoming very popular, not just in India, but all over, the world. So there are many aspects of yoga which we incorporate into teaching English vocabulary, and even English grammar. Even the British Council, they use English to teach young learners, school children. They use a lot of yoga, like, for example, teach the body parts, to teach the internal organs. They use yoga. Also, some of the yoga mudras are yoga vocabularies like yoga, mudra, they have been incorporated into the dictionary nowadays. It's very sad to know that, some of the terms like Ustrasana is wrongly used as camel pose. And in US, the Sukhasana is known as crisscross applesauce. So I hope that as future yoga instructors, you'll be able to, bring back the glory of our language, of our Sanskrit words when you teach yoga. Also, another noteworthy thing about English and yoga is that, they're very mutually beneficial. They are together nowadays, as you can see in various fields. ESP, or English for Specific Purpose, which is usually used for business English or engineering English, or maybe to teach an IT English. Nowadays, we are seeing more and more ESP for yoga as well. So there are online and offline courses for English for specific purposes of yoga. If you go online, you can see many of them. Also, some of the yoga schools like the Vedadri Maharshi College of Yoga, the Art of Living, they all have their teacher training certificate program curriculum, which includes teaching skills. And these teaching skills definitely have English as, a communication skill. All right. So my today's workshop would be on the following objectives. The first one, we will talk generally about the different components of a language. What is English language? What are the different parts? And how do we master these languages? The second objective would be to go through the learning styles. Every student has a different learning style. The third one would be talking about prepositions, because this is the task analysis that was given to me from your college. So we will focus a bit on prepositions. Also, we will go for language functions like polite expressions. And then the next one would be giving instructions. How do you give instructions? What is the right language to you? Is the instruction given in Tamil the same as in English? And lastly, we will talk about how to get over your inhibitions, how to remove your fear to use English language. Okay, so language, generally speaking, can be divided into the grammar, vocabulary, the functions, and the phonology. So grammar there are so many aspects to it. Vocabulary are the words used in a particular field. For example, the vocabulary used in yoga may be different from the vocabulary used in business kind of an environment. Functions are the different register used. For example, the language used by a yogi may not be the same as a language used by a lawyer. The functions are very different. And phonology is the sounds, the science of sounds in a language. There are also the skills. There are two receptive skills, listening and reading, where you are receiving a particular skill. And there are speaking and writing, which are predictive. You produce the speaking, you produce the writing, for which the receptive skills are the base. Okay, so if you want to master a language, it is a good idea to look into all these aspects. And I'm sure that you're all self-learners. So I hope that sooner or later you'll be able to master the language. Now let's talk about different learning styles. Every student has their own different styles of learning. There are mainly three types of learners. Number one is a visual learner. They learn from seeing. They like to see things. For them, maybe listening to the lecture may not be interesting, but if they see pictures, they may be able to learn better. The second kind of learners are auditory. These are the students who learn from hearing. They love to hear They love to hear instructions. They love to hear the talk of the teacher. They never feel bored in the class. They're always attentive. You know, they're very sharp in their listening skills, and they use the ear as their best sense to capture their surroundings. And the third, but not the least, is the kinesthetic learners. These are the students who never sit in the class. You might have noticed, because they learn to do. They like to do for example, if the teacher is teaching a particular asana, they will be the first one to raise their hands and they would say, teacher, I will do it. They are the students who learn by experiencing. They like to be physically involved. So for these kind of students, it is better that they do it. They get a hands-on experience of things. Another slide on, the learning styles. So as you can see on your left side, there are the visual learners. They like to see graphs, illustrations, PowerPoints, pictures, videos, articles. They love to read them. They love to see them. The second type is the auditory. These are the students who love to have debates, discussions, oral presentations. They love to listen to videos and talks. And the third one is kinesthetic. They love to be in a meeting. They love to role play. They will be the first one to do a particular asana or a pranayama. They're ready to volunteer. They are all action oriented, the kinesthetic learner. Now, how do I know? So you can see these small examples here. And let us try to take a survey. Okay, let us take a survey. I'm going to conduct an online survey. Okay. I hope you have your mobile phones with you. You can go to www.menti.com. It is on the screen right now. You can see that on the screen. And when you enter this link, you will see a code that you will be asked for a code number. Please go to www.menti.com. It is here on the screen, on top of my screen. You can see that.
There's the code mentioned the top on the screen. Enter the code 4805-7443. Is the interface visible to you in your mobile phones? So the first question is, choose the learning style that suits you the best. I guess so. That is the first thing which we can see. Interface. I hope all of you could see this. If yes, please raise your hands. Can you see the interface and the questions? Good. Okay. Now start submitting. Please do not delay and be honest with your answers.
What type of learner you are?
So what kind? Yeah, I'm sorry. You have to key in your option. Are you a visual learner? Do you like to see and learn? Or are you an auditory learner? Do you like to hear and learn? Or number 3, do you like to do? Are you a kinesthetic learner? Or sometimes a combination of visual and audio, a combination of audio and kinesthetic, or visual and kinesthetic. So please give your survey now.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
There is this pop-up which has come out, which is like asking, please wait or ask the presenter to open the voting.
Okay.
The voting is closed.
Sorry. So I will open it again. Is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am. Kindly refresh. Oh. Yes, ma'am. It's now.
I can see here. Yeah, we can see the voting is on now.
So this is the result. Whatever you are reading, the result is popping in. Doubt இருந்துச்சுன்னா அது கேட்டுக்கங்க. If you have any doubt,
Do you have any doubts regarding the options?
Okay, so we can see there are more of visual and auditory. Please let me know when the voting is, everybody has finished.
You have voted, stop it now. Are you guys done with the voting?
Can we close the voting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so the voting is closed, and as you can see, there are more of visual and auditory learners. They like to see and they like to hear. And there are another 37% of learners who are visual and kinesthetic. So I conducted the survey so that the teachers, you can understand that this is what your students like to do in your college. More of the students, they like to visualize. So it is a good idea to bring pictures and videos to your classroom. And many of them, they like to do it. So it is a good idea to give the students a chance, ask them to volunteer. How many would like to do this? How many would like to write on the board? How many would like to give a talk? It's a very good idea to do this. Also, in your future, when you go to a college or a school or any yoga center to teach, it will be a good idea to first know the learning style of different students or different trainees that you have. And I'm sure that this survey helped you to analyze yourself a little better. Okay, if you are more of a kinesthetic learner, when you go home, try to do the thing. Okay, close the door and try to do the asana so that you will learn from it better. Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on. Excuse me.
we can proceed, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, so we have done our survey and now you know your learning styles. Try to incorporate it when you learn at home or when you teach in your future. The next are a few task-based activities. According to the task, the need analysis in your college, I was asked to give a brief idea about prepositions. What are the uses and what are the meanings? And the second one are polite expressions. The language, how do you give an instruction in your field of academics? And how can you use polite language to get the things that you love to do? Okay, all right. We will conduct a survey. I hope that you are sitting in your group.
Yes.
Please excuse me a moment. I will share my screen again. I'm using two devices. All right. Can you see my screen now?
First, the students.
Okay, all of
Students
you.
request to sit in a group.
Would you please sit in groups? And you can use one phone in a group, okay? Only one phone is needed. The students can discuss together, but only one phone should be used to type or to key in the answer.
Yes, ma'am. Students are sitting in a groups.
Okay, thank you very much. Would you please join the link joinmyquiz.com. You can see on the screen, I'm hovering my mouse around it, joinmyquiz.com. and you will be asked to key in a game code or a quiz code. You can give your team a number or a name, whatever you would like. Please give a name for your team.
Team name should be given once you join to the.
Only one mobile is needed per group.
Joinmyquiz.com.
So there is this game code 296169.
Kindly note this one.
One team has joined. The name of the team is Volume Team. Now Earth team has joined. Wind team has joined. Water. Fire has joined. Okay. Are we ready? Please let me know when we are ready. Akash. Are we ready? I can see Satan slaves. Is that a name? Okay. So can we start, ma'am?
See, all of you join in. Any team which is not able to join, raise your hands. I hope all the group has joined.
Okay. Can we start? There are 9 teams right now. Can we start the quiz?
Yeah, team should be there, ma'am.
Okay. So before we start the quiz, please note that you will see the questions on your screen. You may have to choose an option, or you may have to type an answer. So there are 2 ways of answering. Some questions are multiple choice and some questions are open-ended, while others are typing an answer. We will start the game now. Choose the correct instruction for the pose that you see. Okay, great. Now let us look at the answers. Okay. So the correct answer is bend to your left. Bend to your left side. Not bend on your left side, not bend towards the left side, and not bend at your left side. There's a difference between to and towards here. Towards means you are giving more focus on the direction. But when you say to, you are looking at the place where you want to go. Let's look at the next question. So look at the picture and choose the right instruction for this. This is again a multiple choice question. Please discuss in your team. Okay, so let's look. So we can see the wind team and fire team, they've got the right answer. So the correct answer is bring your arms behind. Behind means you cannot see it from the other side. That is the meaning of behind. When you say behind, it means at the back of something. For example, at the back of the tree, behind the tree. When you use behind, you usually cannot see it clearly, or you can only see it partially from the other side. So the right answer is behind. Let's move on to the next question.
Three of the group should enter your answers.
There are two more teams to submit your answers. Akash and the slaves, would you please type your answers?
There is a bit of network issues out here.
Okay.
We'll give them time, ma'am. If not possible, if the timer ends, let it end, ma'am.
Okay, okay, I get it. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's brilliant. Teams are competing very well. The correct answer is place the fingers of your right palm on your left palm and let the tip of your thumb form a steeple. That is the answer. The word steeple means, like the top of a church. And there is a difference between on, above, and over. On means on the top of something where there is a contact. Above means in a higher place. For example, you can say there are clouds above my head, but they're not touching my head. And over just means to cover your head with something, or your part with something. For example, put a scarf over your head. Put your sari's pallu over your head. Okay, so you're covering. That is the usual meaning. It goes above you and covers you. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Could you please see on your screen? You may see your next question. So we have over a minute. I hope some of the teams have finished. Team Water, time Akash.
Ma'am announce பண்ற போட்டி why we are using from the session question we have to learn. Please be silent.
Okay, the time is up. So let us look at the answers now and the teams who are on the top. Team Wind is leading and Fire behind. So the correct answer is stand on your forearms. When we use on, means you're standing on that. And also the next answer is hover over your top and touch your forehead with your toes. So we use with to show a medium used. For example, hold your knee with your hands. Touch the ajna with the tip of your finger. Pick the pen with the fingers. So with shows the medium we used to touch or hold something. Let's move on to the next question. There's only 1 minute for this question.
Only 1 minute, quickly answer. One more minute.
Okay, so the wind is still on top. So let's look at the answer. Hold the toe. And the correct answer is off your left leg. So off is used to show the origin of something. Off your left leg, off your right eye, etc. And there was another answer. This pose is beneficiary for building balance and strength. For is usually used to show a purpose. What is it used for? It is good for bodybuilding. It is good for strength. It is good for developing focus and concentration. So for is used to show a purpose. Let's move on to the next question. You have 3 minutes.
Those who are not posted, kindly post it at the
Okay, so looking at it, I can see wind team is still flying like a wind, followed by fire. Now let's look at the answer and try to understand these these two prepositions. The preposition in is used for a place or for a time. Here it is used for a time purpose. It can be done in a minute. So in is specifically defined as being inside that time. For example, if your teacher says you have to be in college, means it is inside the college, or here it is used as a time for being inside something. And the second preposition is within. Within, it means a rough time. Within 1 minute means it can be 59 seconds or 1 minute, or maybe 1 minute and 1 second, around that time, but not particularly the time. So within implies being inside of a given set of parameters relative to the object. Okay, let's move on. We just have another 2 or 3 more questions. The next question on your screen, please. This is an open-ended question. You have to type the answer there, okay? There are 2 sentences. I will be in my classroom and I will be within my classroom. Discuss in your team the difference in meaning and type your answer in the space given below. You can type what you know, okay? It doesn't have to be correct, but just type an answer. It is an open-ended question. Just type your answer there. This is not a multiple choice question. It is an open-ended question. You have to write the difference in the meaning of in my classroom and within my classroom. I think we can skip this question because the students are just typing like an option. We will just skip this question. I'm sorry. And we will. Yeah, I can see now some fire team has written the answer. I will be in my classroom means within represented time. Mm-hmm. Okay, Wind has a very good answer there. It refers to being inside the class. Mm-hmm. And what is within? Okay, time is up. So please allow me to explain this. There are 2 prepositions here. I am in the class means I am inside the door of my class. I am inside. I am in the mall means I am inside the mall. I am in the canteen means I'm inside the canteen. But when you say within, you can say you are not exactly inside, maybe somewhere around the classroom, maybe 1 meter around the classroom, or maybe 1 kilometer around the shopping mall. It is not exactly inside sometimes, but it shows a parameter. So you have to hold your breath and release it within 10 seconds means you can release it in the 9th second or the 8th second or the 10th second. Within means just the parameters. Okay, let's move on to the next question. We are running short of time. So could you please give your answers fast? Okay, so the answers are there. 6 teams have got the right answer. So you can see in the first sentence, there are 2 places, T Nagar and Chennai. So when there are 2 places, the first is used as at T Nagar in Chennai, at Trivandrum in Kerala, at Chennai in Tamil Nadu. So when there are 2 places, the first is always used as at, and the second one is used as in. And the second part is please sit at your arm's length, means you should not come inside that circle, at arm's length. And in means inside your yoga class. Okay, so when there are 2 places, always use at for the first and in for the second. So I think we just have another 1 or 2 more questions and then we will end. So this is your last question. These are prepositions for time, dash 5 p.m., dash the morning, dash Sundays. This would be your last question. All right. So with that, we have come to the end of this activity. We were talking about prepositions. In the last question, as you can see, there are 3 prepositions used for telling the time. The first one is clock time, 5 p.m., which is at 5 p.m., at 5:30, at 6 a.m. So the clock time is always used as at. The next one is in the morning. So we use in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, but only for night, we will use at night. And the last part is days. So for days, we use on Sundays, on Mondays. I usually practice yoga on Sundays or on Mondays. So days are always used as on. So I think we could end the game there because of lack of time. So congratulations to the first 3 teams. Team Wind, you have done a good job, good teamwork, good team spirit, and good collaboration. The second team is Fire, congratulations. And the third team is Earth. So when you sometimes practice together and work together or study together, there's always a better result. I hope you could continue your team spirit. So we will move on now with the workshop. Ma'am, could you please tell me how much time do I have?
Yeah, you can continue, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you. So I'm not going into the explanations now because we've already discussed this. Now let's go into the next team activity. Group 2. Great yoga instructors always have great communication skills. I'm sure that you may agree with this. And is it okay to just say anything to anybody? It is not. Sometimes we need to be very polite. For example, there is a difference between saying, shut the door, and saying, could you please close the door? There is a huge difference in this. Just excuse me, I will open my camera. Please give me a minute. Can you hear me?
Yes, we are hearing, ma'am.
Okay, so let's continue. So we are talking about communication skills. It's very important in any language to be very polite, to be very soft. If you want to get your things done, talk very softly, say very politely so that the other person is not ill-treated or the person may not feel, disrespected. Now, we are just going to look into a few questions. You can work in your small teams and write down the answers. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with some questions. You can see on my screen, there are some sentences. There are 6 sentences. For example, let's look at the first one. Will you give me some more time? This is a very wrong or impolite or rude way of asking a question. Now, we will just take maybe not more than 3 minutes. Could you please discuss in your team and find very polite sentences? How will you say these sentences in a polite way? All right, we will take not more than 3 minutes. You can discuss in your team. This is another group work, another workshop going on. Ma'am, am I clear? Thank you. So in your teams, please discuss these sentences and replace the impolite with a polite sentence.
after completing, how do you want to write it? Is there any way, or they should write it in a note?
Actually, if there is time, maybe we could ask one student to say the answers, and then we will discuss, or I can just give the answers.
Okay.
Thank you.
First, make all the 6 sentences in a polite tone first. Only 2 more minutes to go. Fast. Fast. Start writing it.
Okay, we have 1 more minute. Sorry, there was only 3 minutes for this task. So if you can't answer all the questions, at least take any one, and you can write an answer.
1 more minute to go. Which team has completed first answer? Okay, each team I will give you 1 option. Yes, please come and answer you. In the team, you are worker. Come. Aarti, come and tell.
Varha Valamudan.
I am Aarti ma'am from BS third year. Will you give me some more time, please?
Okay, so you have added the word please, right? Would you like to say another sentence? What about the second sentence? Give me that book for some time, please.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I guess it's still morning there. So I represent the women's team. My name is Shobha. I just read out the answers from the first one. You said, could you please give me some more time?
Good.
The second one, you said, can you please give me that book for some time?
Okay.
We said, miss, shall we please have the test on another day?
All right. Did you say shall we or can we? Okay, thank you. Good.
Fourth one, we have two versions. We don't vote. So one version is, may I please submit my
I'm sorry, it's not very clear. Can you please hold the mic closer? Thank you.
So for the fourth one, we have two versions. The first one is, Miss, may I submit my assignment on another day?
Very good. Mhm.
Second question is, Miss, can you please give me some more time for my assignment?
Okay, all right.
It's more open-ended and we've not specified any date, so we added another version which I read first.
Okay. Mhm.
Miss, I'm excusing myself now as I have an urgent work.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Our idea can be better.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, so can we proceed to the next slide? Thank you very much. That was very good. Some of brilliant sentences came out from the young lady out there. Thank you. Okay, so now let's look at the right way of saying. The first one, will you. Will is a very impolite way of saying. Will and can should never be used when you say sentences or when you ask questions. You can say, would you kindly allow me some more time? Would is a very perfect way. Would or could. You can say either would or could. Both are perfectly all right. But never say will or never say can, because this is considered to be very impolite. The second one is, give me that book for some time, please. You can say like this. You can either say, would you please lend me the book for some time? Or you can say, if you don't mind, would you lend me the book for some time? If you don't mind. If you don't mind, can I borrow your book? If you don't mind, can I please sit here? So if you don't mind is a very polite way of asking for favors. The third one is, Miss, can we change the test to another day? You know, teachers become very angry when students say this. So the best way is, would it be possible if, how about if we reschedule or postpone the test to another day? So again, would or could can do magic if you use it in the right way. Number 4 is, Miss, I want to give my assignment on another day. So maybe you're very busy with something or you could not complete it. The right way to say this would be, would it be all right if I submit my assignment on Monday? Again, you can see it is would. The 5th one is, I'm going now because I have urgent work. You know, I need to go for my class now, teacher. This is very rude. You can say like this, I wish I could stay longer, but some urgent work came up. You know, I wish I could stay longer. I wish I could listen to your talk much longer. Okay, these are very polite expressions. And the last one is, your idea is very bad. This is considered to be very rude. So you can say, I'm not sure if that is a good idea. You know, I'm not sure if, you know, that would work. So this is a very polite way. But if you say that is a very bad idea, it may have, you know, a very impolite tone on it. So when you use polite expressions, remember you have to use would or could. You can also use expressions like, if you don't mind, would it be all right? Would it be possible? I'm not sure. I wish I could. You know, so these are polite ways which you can use in your classrooms. So I would definitely ask your teacher, Shanti ma'am, if you are using polite expressions in future and whether you're using these ideas when you talk to your teachers. All right, saying so, let's move on. Now, giving instructions. In yoga, as yoga instructors or yoga trainees, it's very important that you listen to instructions or you give instructions. How do you give instructions? Is it the same as giving instructions in Tamil? Is there a difference in the sentence structure? Is it the same or is it different? Let us talk about it. So in Tamil language and English language, the sentence structure for instructions are very different. So for example, in Tamil, you may say, Mudalil kayye uyartavum. I hope my Tamil is good. Is it correct?
Yes.
Mudalil kayye uyartavum. So you can say Mudalil. Mudalil means is a time order. Mudalil. Kayye is a noun in English. Kayye uyartavum is verb, right? Pinnar, then, time order. Kayye uyartavum, again noun and a verb. In English, we don't follow this kind of an order. We would say the time order first, which is the same as in Tamil. So we would say, first of all, raise. Raise, the verb will come first. Raise your hands. You can see the time order and then the verb and then the noun. After that, close your eyes. So again, you can see after that is a time order signal word. Close is a verb and your eyes is the noun. So the sentence structure is time order and then the verb and the noun. Also, the pronunciations in English language and Tamil language are very different. Sometimes, sometimes as I'm from Kerala, so sometimes I have a mother tongue influence when I say English. For example, we say oo instead of o. For example, in Kerala, we say oil and we say auto, but actually it is oil and auto. And this, the same way in Tamil Nadu, the people have their mother tongue influence. For example, instead of O, it is common to hear A. For example, you would say auto rickshaw instead of auto rickshaw. So it's very important to understand these, mother tongue influence and try to correct it. Also, the sound R, for example, rhythm is pronounced as a rhythm because of the mother tongue influence. And the next one is word. For example, word is pronounced wrongly as word in Tamil. So you use v instead of w. And sometimes there is unnecessary sound. For example, computer, we will say like that. In Kerala also we'll say computer, book. That is a wrong way of saying it. You would say the book or the phone. But if you say book, phone, this is a wrong. And sometimes there is an unnecessary, a sustained sound when people from Tamil background speak. They say bukka, we say like that. In the bukka, apdiya, because the mother tongue influence will naturally come in English, but in English language you usually don't sustain the sound. We don't say give me the book. This is a wrong way. We would just say, please, would you please give me the book, and that's it. So there is intonations and stress. I'm sure you would be able to find more matter about this in various books or on the YouTube channels. Okay, so these are some basic things. So when you give an instruction in English, it's important to start with a verb. Okay, so for example, you would say, first of all, lift your right hand. Okay, first of all, close your eyes. So you start with a verb, but you don't use verb with a to. First of all, lift to is wrong. Okay, first of all, close to is wrong. You would just use verbs which are called imperative verbs. The second thing, you have to follow the time order signal words. So you can say first of all, secondly, next, then, after that. And then when the last step comes, you can say finally or eventually. Eventually, you will be able to find peace, eventually or finally. The third thing you have to remember is give extra help when you give instructions. For example, if you are doing a particular asana, you can say, remember, do not hold your breath beyond your capacity. Or you can say, be careful not to fall down when you do exercise. Okay, so give extra help, give them extra additional clues. And the last one, but not the least, is use very short sentences. If you say long and winding up sentences, the person will get very confused. Break your sentences into small instructions, go very slow, and go very clear. Okay, so I'm sure in future you'll all become great yoga instructors, yogis. And when you are imparting your knowledge, please remember in mind that giving instructions, follow these rules when you say that. And I'm sure I'm looking forward to what you would be in your future. Okay, let's move on. Now, this is the last slide for the day. Any language, if you don't use it, you definitely would lose it. So how do I become a good speaker of English? Number one, if you remember the first exercise, find out what kind of a learner are you? Are you an audio learner? If you are an audio learner, listen to more English, use good talks. You can maybe download some good instructions in English and keep listening to it. For example, if you're traveling to your college in a bus, this is the right time to listen to more English. If you are a visual learner, watch more videos, pictures, draw, illustrations. Use your perfect learning style to learn or master the language. Number two, I'm not sure in your college if you have to speak in English. Ma'am, is it mandatory that they speak in English?
No, not necessary.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Sir, do they have to speak in English mandatorily in their college?
It is not necessary, but we request students to encourage students to speak in English classes.
Okay, thank you. I understand. So the second thing, as students, what you can do is please don't wait for your teacher to tell you to speak in English. Keep aside 1 or 2 days in a week. For example, you can say, okay, today, Monday, every Monday we will speak only in English. I'm from Kerala and I'm married a Tamilian. I could only sing some Tamil songs, but I did not know Tamil. But me and my husband, we decided, okay, every Friday I will speak Tamil. Every Saturday you will speak Malayalam. So, we kept some days aside for speaking the language and learning the language. And in your classroom with your friends, you can decide this. Every Monday and Wednesday and Thursday, we will speak only in English. Something like that. You have to have a plan. You have to work in a team like this. Number three, when you are doing your practices, think about the process. You always think in the language you know. So try to think in English. Tamil is a beautiful language. I know that it is the oldest language. In fact, I have one of my colleagues from South Africa who wants to learn Tamil because it is the oldest language. I love Tamil, but as yoga trainees, I'm sure English is important as well for you. So when you're doing your yoga practices, see that you think about the particular posture or the particular pranayama or the particular dhyana in English. Tell the instructions in your mind. When you think in it, it will come out in the language. And last but not the least, try to read and watch more programs in the English language that would be applicable to your subject. So try to watch or read about yoga in English as well as in Tamil. But if you want to improve your English, it'll be a best way, So I think with that, I have come to an end of my workshop. Sir, do we have some time? I can take some questions if I know them.
Students, you can ask questions. Now, ma'am has conducted the program. Now, students give your feedback and the questions. If you have any questions, the program conducted by ma'am, you can ask questions. Raise your hands, then I will call you one by one. Yeah, come.
My question was on the different learning style, which we took a survey in the beginning. So the survey is I mean, a quick survey for an informed audience. So for those who don't know as yet what is their learning style, is there some kind of question to help someone to identify what their learning style is? Would they fall under the visual category or auditory or kinesthetic? So is there some kind of a question which Macmillan or BBC has, a standard question?
I understand your question. That was a very brilliant question. Very brilliant. So how do I know my learning style? You know, I can only say for myself as a teacher, you know, in my class, I teach in Oman and we have Arabs here. Okay. Sometimes learning style will be more culturally connected. For example, this is a Muslim country and the girls would not like to come forward and do some activities. But, you know, when you watch the student, you know, when the student is listening in the class, maybe he or she is drawing something on the book or, you know, drawing some pictures. The student may sometimes
Your voice is breaking.
be listening, but he is picturizing, he's visualizing, you know, you about and you're already like that. It doesn't mean you are dreaming, it means you are visualizing the Shava. The teacher can immediately understand maybe you are.
Ma'am, are we audible to you, ma'am?
I heard a ma'am.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Yes, we can. I can hear you very clearly. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So just coming back to the question that the young lady asked there, you have to know what is your style. Do you like to draw more? Do you like to draw illustrations? Do you like to write more? Then you are definitely a visual learner. Sometimes some students, they would be listening to song, you know, maybe some song from, you know, some kuttupatu, but they will be studying at the same time. You know, they can do that. They can do that task. So these kind of learners are more like, you know, audio learners. They love to listen. These students, they love to listen to the teacher. They will be the first students sitting in the class. You can see the first benches. They are usually very good at listening. These students, they love to ask questions to the teacher. Teacher, I have a question. Teacher, what about this? You know, these students, they love to hear their voice, which means they are audio learners. Now, there are some backbenchers, you know, sitting at the back. They're not bad students, but they are the best in doing things. They love to come, you know, you give them something. Okay, go to the staff room, get some books, somebody. And these students will run fast and get the books. Can somebody, you know, show this asana? Can I hear me? Hello? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Audible.
If you can hear me, could you please raise your thumbs, somebody? Okay, thank you. Thank you. I got it. So kinesthetic learners, they may be sitting at the back bench, but if you ask them to go out and get something, they will be the first ones to run and get it. If you ask them to, you know, demonstrate an asana, they will be the first one to jump in and show it in front of the class. They like to do, they like to experiment. These are students who are very good in the laboratory, in the school. They will be very good. They love to go to the lab. They love to do things. So you have to sit for a minute and analyze which works best for you. I hope I have answered your question. Thank you. Do we have another question?
Any questions? From boys side, boys, anybody? Anybody from girls side? Anybody? Ranjini?
Yeah.
And ma'am, the one who asked the previous question, Subhama, she is also a marathon runner.
Oh, congratulations. We are athletes.
Yes.
Great, great.
This is Ranjini, ma'am.
Hi. Ma'am,
I have a question that generally I used to see people, if they are not good enough to speak in English, I'm going for in a spoken English class, and all they are saying. Is that advisable? I mean, I have a question that is advisable one, because my experience is by talking to the people, directly interacting with the people, the practical knowledge speaks a lot. So, is it, I mean, yeah, it is advisable that spoken English class is good or not?
okay, thank you. I understand the question. Yeah. Okay, so the question was, is it advisable to go for a spoken English class? Okay, so actually English, any language, for example, when you are a baby, you cannot speak English, but you can listen, right? You can listen to your mother saying some things. Papa, anga povade, and you immediately understand. Maybe you cannot speak it, but you listen first. So in English, there is an order, or in any language, there is an order. First, you listen, and then you have to speak the language, right? As a baby, when you are 1 year old, you slowly start to say some words, like you say, appa, amma, venam, like this, So you speak. So the first one is listening. The second one is speaking. The third one is reading. And the fourth one is writing. This is the order. When you are 2 years old, you start to read, small words, amma, nai. And then finally you start to write. Unfortunately, in India, in our schools, in our education system, we first make the students to write essays or paragraphs, but they can't speak. Unfortunately, this is the wrong way of teaching in our schools. If you come to any country abroad, you have great writers who are Indians, but they cannot speak well in front of 100 people. They will start to shiver. So coming back to your question, actually, there is nothing called spoken English. You cannot speak English without listening or reading English, because the order is listening, speaking, and then reading, and then writing. So if there is some course called spoken English, I've seen so many places in India called spoken English. You cannot just speak without listening. You cannot speak without just reading. However, as a yoga teacher, I think you use more speaking and writing, because you have to write in English, and because you have to speak or give instructions or practicals in English. So you have to combine everything together. And please don't believe in the courses that you see there, spoken English courses. Don't go for that. Instead, if you can afford, you may go to Council, British Council, because they teach all the 4 important skills and also the grammar. So I hope I have answered your question. Unfortunately, we can put the blame on our education system that it doesn't, give importance to speaking in schools. Thank you.
Any other questions? Anybody have any questions? I have a question. And what is your spiritual growth now? Have you been into the initiated phase by Swamiji's methods, or are you yet to practice, or are you an ardent practitioner already? And how it has helped you in your career of growth?
Thank you. I sincerely, I haven't followed much of Vedadri Maharshi. I still have the photo gifted by one of my family members with me. Okay, so I have Sri Maharshi's photo with me. So I was not very fortunate like you. I studied English. Now I'm thinking maybe I should have studied yoga, I should be in Vedadari Maharshi. So coming back to your question, after, sometimes you say, in Malayalam, we say, muttatte mullekku manamilla. The jasmine flower in front of the house doesn't smell good. So when I came to Oman, this is a Muslim country, I realized, here in the Gulf country, they give so much importance for their spiritual practices. They go to the mosque every 5 times a day. They start to learn the Holy Quran. And then I was thinking back, what did I learn? And then I thought, maybe I wasn't brought up in the right way. And then I started to listen to some spiritual talks. Vedadari Maharshi's books are mostly in Tamil, so I couldn't read it. But I believe that spirituality, to me, it's like, seeing spirit in everything. Everything is me. I guess this is spirituality. So in that sense, I think I am on the first step. I have taken my baby steps. I do asanas, and I also do pranayama. I also do meditation. Yeah, when I meditate, I'm able to feel the ecstasy. Sometimes I was discussing with one of my family members who is in, this field, and I would say sometimes, I feel the joy and ecstasy, and the happiness and things like that. So I hope I've answered your question. Thank you.
Any other questions? The athlete wants to shoot another question.
Please.
Communication.
We will translate if you ask Tamil, then we'll translate.
My question is certain concepts of Maharishi. Maharishi is basically a Tamilian. So some of the concepts are best when understood and spoken in Tamil. So I feel the nativity is lost when we talk in English or in any other language for that matter. So how do we retain the nativity of and the essence of the teachings of Maharishi and still be able to communicate to a non-Tamil audience? It may not be English, but how do we do this? Because I constantly have this problem. Some of the concepts of Maharishi I study in English, but I go to the Tamil book where it is originally written, and then I try to understand that. So I have this dilemma.
Okay. Yes, thank you. By the way, you are a kinesthetic learner, okay? I'm sure you are very kinesthetic. Okay, thank you for that question. So, yeah. So we have yoga, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras and everything written in a particular language. But when we have to reach on a global level, we have to translate into a global language, which is English. So how do I bridge these two? That is a question. There are so many studio yogas nowadays. People just sit on a mat and, do this and they put some music, and that is yoga. For example, in America or here, even in Muscat, there are so many studios, yoga studios they call, but this is not proper yoga because they don't really understand what is yoga. And for them, yoga means only twisting or turning their body, but yoga is much beyond that. So the only way to bridge is to bring real teachers into this field. And in that sense, yoga, Vedadari Maharshi College of Yoga is doing a great job because you are sticking to the essence, to the roots of the yoga. But there is something called globalization. Ever since yoga became an international yoga day, yoga has been marketed into different parts of the country. And, people may not understand Tamil or they may not understand Sanskrit. So the best way to reach that is in English. But at the same time, when you teach, make them understand certain terms like mudra, shunya, samyamana. These, if you say meditation in English, it doesn't mean anything. I can just meditate like this. Maybe I'm sleeping, but meditation itself has different things. As yoga students, you may know, yoga can be dhyana, shunya, samadhi, tapa, whatever. So it is very important when you teach that you do it that way. Unfortunately, there are so many wrong terms like dog pose, cow pose, goat pose, the camel pose, etc., which are used wrongly. So, everything has its, two sides. It is true that, there is a distorted version of yoga and terms, but as future teachers, it is in your hand to teach it the right way. I hope I've answered your question. Thank you.
Anybody else have any other questions? Communicate, ma'am. Would you be comfortable, ma'am?
Yeah, we'll translate.
Please, anybody comment?
I will try to understand the question, or else you can translate. Please allow them to ask in Tamil. It's okay.
There is one question from your side: how to overcome fear when we are addressing it?
Okay.
Comfortable in English.
For those who are not comfortable in English and the ones who are not comfortable in English, listening to people.
You can ask. It's okay. I'll try to answer. Tamil கேளுங்க.
It came from the girl's side. No, she thought that he asked the question. So, our Tamiliye கேட்க சொல்றாங்க.
Okay.
Same question. எங்களுக்கு வந்து லாங்குவேஜ் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கு, ரூல்ஸ் அண்ட் ரெகுலேஷன்ஸ் எல்லாமே தெரிஞ்சிருக்குனாலும் கிரவுண்ட்ங்கிறது இல்ல. தனிப்பட்ட ஒருத்தர்கிட்ட அவங்க இங்கிலீஷ்ல கேட்கறாங்கன்னா டக்குனு அந்த ஒரு நிமிஷம் பதில் சொல்றதுக்கு ஃப்ரீக்வெண்டா எங்களுக்கு வரல. ஏன்னா எங்களுக்கு தெரியுமான்ற டவுட் எங்களுக்கு இருக்கு. அது வந்து எப்படி வந்து நாங்கள் பேசுறோம்.
ஓகே, இவரு பயங்கரமா தூய் தமிழ்ல பேசிட்டாங்க. எனக்கு புரியல சார். கொஞ்சம் டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ண முடியுமா?
It was the same question that I asked you. How to address the people and how to overcome the fear, because whenever he goes into a crowd, he wants to address the crowd in English, and he suddenly runs out of phrases or the sentences, and he's having a friction between himself itself. How to address?
Okay, I understand. Nana, I'll talk in English. Okay, maybe you can translate. Okay. நீங்க okay, I'll try to talk in Tamil. Please excuse my mistakes. நீங்க சின்ன வயசுல நடக்க ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது உங்களுக்கு பயம் கிடையாது இல்ல? நீங்க விழுந்துடுவாங்க, இல்ல எங்கேயாவது போட்டு அடிபட்டுடுவாங்க, பயம் இல்லை, இல்ல வெக்கம் இல்லை இல்ல? நம்ம சின்ன வயசுல வெக்கப்படாத ஓடுவாங்க, ஒரு ஷார்ட்ஸ் மட்டும் போட்டு ஓடுவாங்க. ஏன்னா we don't see what others are thinking about us. ஒரு சில பேர் நம்மை பத்தி என்ன யோசிக்கிறாங்க அதை பத்தி நமக்கு கவலை இல்லையா? ஆனா நம்ம பெருசாகவே வெக்கம் வருது நமக்கு. ஐயோ, நான் இப்படி பேசினா அவர் எப்படி நினைப்பாங்க, நான் இப்படி என்னால பாட முடியுமா, இல்ல நான் இங்கிலீஷ் பேசினா தப்பாயிடுமா, ஐயோ, பிகாஸ் யூ ஆர் திங்கிங். உங்களுக்கு ஒருவேளை பயம் இல்லை, ஆனா நீங்க வெக்கப்படுறாங்க. அவர் என்ன நினைப்பாங்க, மற்றவர் என்ன நினைப்பாங்க, இது ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல எடுத்து களையணும். யாரும் பெர்ஃபெக்ட் இல்லை இந்த உலகத்துல. பாருங்க, நானே தமிழ் பேசுறாங்க, எவ்வளவு தப்பு இருக்கும். ஆனா எனக்கு ஓகே, நான் என்னோட முக்கியமான இது நான் கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணணும். சரி, என்னால என்ன தெரியுது அது உங்களுக்கு கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணதுனால நான் இப்ப தமிழ் பேசுறாங்க. ஆனா நிறைய தப்பு இருக்கலாம். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி நீங்க கவலைப்படாம பேசுங்க. தப்பு இருந்தா போனா போதும், we can திருத்தலாம், அப்புறம் we can correct it, right? தப்பு செஞ்சுதான் நம்ம கரெக்டா நம்மளால பேச முடியும். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல அந்த பயம், அந்த கவலை, அந்த வெக்கம் கொஞ்சம் உங்க உள்ளிலிருந்து நீக்கினாலே உங்களுக்கு அந்த இது வெளியில வர முடியும் கண்டிப்பா, எந்த ஃபீல்டில் ஆனாலும். இப்போ நான் இங்கே முதல்ல வந்த டைம்ல அரபு பசங்கள், இங்கே யாருக்கும் இங்கிலீஷ் தெரியாது. நம்ம ஊர்ல ஃப்ரெஞ்சு டீச் பண்ற மாதிரி இங்கே இங்கிலீஷ் கற்றுக் கொடுப்பாங்க. யாருக்கும் இங்கிலீஷ் தெரியாது. ஒரு சில வேர்டு அரபி, இங்கிலீஷ் பேசுறது ஒரு சில வேர்டு அரபியில ரொம்ப மோசமான வார்த்தையா இருக்கும். பசங்களை சிரிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிடும். ஸோ என்னடா சிரிக்கிறாங்க இப்படின்னு நினச்சிக்கிட்டு என்னால் கூச்சு பட முடியல, பிகாஸ் ஐ ஆம் அ டீச்சர். பட் நவ் மை ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் கேன் ஸ்பீக் வெரி குட் இங்கிலீஷ். இப்போ அவர் மேடையில் வந்து டிபேட் பேசுகிறாங்க, டிஸ்கஷன் பேசுகிறாங்க. நான் 8 வருஷமா ஒமானில் இருக்கிறோம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர்ல வந்து கற்றுக் கொடுக்கிற பசங்களை இப்போ பெரிய பெரிய கம்பெனிஸில் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறாங்க. அவர் இங்கிலீஷில் இமெயில்ஸ் எழுதுறாங்க, நல்ல ஸ்பீச்சஸ் கொடுக்குறாங்க. அப்படின்னு பார்க்கும்போது எனக்கு ரொம்ப பெருமையாக இருக்குது. ஸோ கம்மிங் பேக் டு யுவர் கொஸ்டின், நீங்கள் மற்றவர் என்ன நினைக்கிறாங்க இப்படின்னு யோசிக்காம தைரியமா போங்க. என்ன தப்பு வந்தால் என்ன திருத்தலாம்ல. we can do it. Okay, thank you. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. And kudos to Mr. Harihar Sudan, because he has trained you really in a good manner. You are talking good, very good Tamil.
தேங்க்யூ தேங்க்யூ. அது என்னன்னாக்கா ஒரு நாளைக்கு இங்கிலீஷ் மட்டும், ஒரு நாளைக்கு தமிழ் மட்டும், ஒரு நாளைக்கு மலையாளம் மட்டும். இப்படியே நாங்கள் கல்யாணம் பண்ண புதுசுல இப்படிதான் we divided our days like this. ஸோ உங்களுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணலாம். உங்க காலேஜில் ஒரு 2-3 நாள் இங்கிலீஷுக்கு மட்டும்னு நீங்க அப்படியே யூ கேன் கீப் இட் aside. Thank you so much for the compliment. I appreciate it.
Any other questions? And I have this important doubt now. Now, as I was in film industry, I used to watch a lot of movies. So at the initial point of time, I didn't know how to speak in English in a proper manner. Now I have a question. I used to watch a lot of Hollywood movies in which they have different slangs differing from one region to another. And I started to, mimic all those slangs slowly, and I got to a point that I could speak some sort of even broken, but people could understand it, and I got a slang. So is this really, advisable to watch English movies and or English news channels or any other English creativity videos, so that we could, elevate us the way we are speaking? So that is one question I have. And the second question, are they using the proper grammatic senses in all of the dialogues which is being spoken in the movies? That is the second doubt which I have.
Okay, so he's asking the question whether movies and TV shows or YouTube videos are the right way of learning. As a teacher, when I learned for my degree and master's, we had a branch of science called phonetics, where you learn the science of language. All right. So it's important to first learn the science, because sometimes, when you listen to a movie, maybe the grammar may not be right. For example, in America, it's a fashion to say any sentence that you want. Okay, and it may not be grammatically right. But at the same time, if you focus on British movies, like for example, Harry Potter, these kind of movies have very good English, which are grammatically very correct. So it is okay to learn English from movies, but please see that the movies come from, the right kind of a background where English is spoken, in a very nice manner, in a proper manner. Also, watching BBC News is a good way of learning English. The birth of English happened in, the UK. So it is better to watch British movies, because American movies may not be always correct. I hope I've answered your question. By the way, sir, you are speaking perfect English. Are you the English teacher there? Oh, okay. Okay, sir. Nice.
My wife is also working here. She is a Tamilian, and I speak Telugu. So I guess after hearing to your chemistry which has worked out between both of you, I should initiate the process of talking in Telugu at one day, and I don't need Tamil, but Telugu needs a bit of importance, I think.
Okay, that is a brilliant idea. It is. Are you married?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, your wife is also from Andhra?
Yes, ma'am. She's here, right here.
Oh, Varhavalamudan. Okay, nice to meet you, ma'am.
Okay, now we have another question, ma'am, from Sri Lakshmi.
Sure.
Hi, ma'am. I have a question. First of all, I want to tell what is my opinion about the concept of terminologies using in the yoga, and I just want to ask.
I'm sorry, I missed you there. Can you please start again?
Ma'am, I have a question regarding some terminologies which are actually in Sanskrit. But when we give instructions of some.
Sound.
some terminologies of Sanskritam we use when we give instructions or when we learn yoga in English. So, but I think that is a wrong way of teaching or giving instructions. That's my opinion. So, first I want to tell my opinion, and I just want to ask your opinion on that.
Okay, thank you. Right, thank you.
So when we use some words like asalam, duriyam, muladharam, chakram, so they are all Sanskritam words. But when we use it in English, we say asana, trikonasana. Is there any meaning for asana? Asana is the right word. So we translate it, we change the word in some other language according to English. Will it really mean it? We can actually say asana, muladharam, chakram, duriyam. So we can't change those words. Actually, in our day-to-day life also, it is actually those things covered. But when we speak in English to others, dosa, it becomes dosa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I appreciate now our government's initiative in changing the names. Why it should be Madras, it can be Chennai. It need not be Triplicate. It can be Thiruvalikeni, and it can be pronounced by any foreigner or anybody globally. It is the original name. So we need not change the names which are in Sanskritam according to another language. But there is a small contradiction. Words which end with in asana means we say asana. But if it is samadhi, we don't say samadha. We say samadhi. In those contexts, we are not changing the word. We use the actual word. So many times these type of questions have arisen in my mind when we use Sanskritam words or words related to yoga when we learn it in English. Why can't we use them as it is? Or is it necessary to change like this? I actually, it was so comic when I was thinking, we say tavam. And if we tell it in English, it will become tava. It is like those are tava. Is it right, ma'am?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, I understand your question, ma'am. It is more like an answer. I mean, I should ask you a question. Okay, thank you, ma'am. It's so good to see such an experienced teacher. So can I say my opinion on that?
I have
okay, all right. So I completely agree with you, ma'am. English words cannot replace Sanskrit or Tamil, and some words in Sanskrit itself cannot, it cannot be explained. For example, if you say the word duriyam, how can you explain this? It is an experience. You have to experience that. How can you say just Shanti? Shanti means peace. And I can watch a movie and feel peace, but it is not peace. You have to experience it. So as I said before, after the International Yoga Day came, the good side was yoga spread to different parts of the world. But, the bad side is yoga got distorted, the languages, the terminologies, it got distorted. So I would only say that, as teachers of such great, institutes and as students, it is in your hands to use these kind of terminologies as much as possible. Talking about that, the word karma is in the dictionary of English, karma. There is no other way to replace that. So like how karma came into the English dictionary, I'm sure other terminologies will soon come, but it only comes when we don't distort the language. If you can teach it in its, rawness, in its originality, I'm sure you can do wonders. So there's always the two sides of anything. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Nice to talk to you, ma'am.
The same way we use the names of the languages also. It is actually Sanskritam. We say Sanskrit. It is Tamil.
Yeah, ma'am.
We say
Yeah. Ma'am, actually, even when you see in the north, they say Shiva, but when it came down, it came Shiva. Ram became Ramar. In Kerala, it's Raman. So even inside the country itself, there is different, distortions. They say karma in the north, but when it came down, it became karma. In Tamil Nadu, we say karmam sometimes, unnode karmam, like that. So even inside a country, there are distortions. But as yoga practitioners, it is in your hands, ma'am, to bring the raw, the originality.
Ma'am, in English, we have a manner that these words are used in specific manner in these places. But if we feel confident that we can use these words, can we replace it with other words? For example,
I'm so sorry. Could you go a little back? I cannot see yourself. Yes, perfect. Could you say the question again? Could you ask it?
from the English language, never say because grammar. Ma'am, from the English the grammar
இருக்கு.
நம்ம கான்ஃபிடன்ட்டா ஃபீல் பண்ணோம்னா நம்ம வேர்ட்ஸ் நமக்கு என்ன தோணுதோ அந்த வேர்ட்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணலாம்.
Or related
related.
Okay, I just understood some parts. Sir, could you please say the question again? I'm so sorry. There was so much sound in the background.
She's asking that if we have to use a specific sentence, and if we don't have that particular word, that is the word we should actually use. And if we run out of that word, can we use any other words? I guess she's asking if we can use anonyms or synonyms in that type. If she feels confident, can she use all those words, different vocabulary also?
Okay. Thank you for the question. I understood it.
I tell one example, ma'am. For example, I do yoga and I tell that I do yoga within 5 minutes. And I tell if I feel confident that I do yoga by 5 minutes.
So you're talking about the preposition there. In 5 minutes means inside 5 minutes. You don't use by 5 minutes. For by, it is another usage. You cannot use by for the time. But your question, if you can use the proper synonyms, it is okay. In the language or main purpose communication. நம்ம சொல்றது இல்ல கேட்கனவருக்கு புரியணும். So if you feel that you have a very good audience who can understand English very well, நீங்க அதுக்கேத்த மாதிரி synonyms யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாமே, தப்பில்லை. ஆனா நாங்க கேரளத்துல சொல்லுவாங்க சசி தரு இருக்கு, நீங்க யூடியூப்ல டைப் பண்ணா தெரியும். அவர் பயங்கர or any language is to communicate as soon as the listener can understand it is okay.
Voice is again breaking now. Network issues.
It is okay.
Yes. Ma'am, is it audible, ma'am? Whatever we are speaking from this side? Ma'am? Yes. Now. Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me now? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are audible, but the voice is breaking.
I think I lost.
The network is not stable.
Oh, okay. Maybe there is a weak network. Yeah, maybe there is a weak network. It is a Friday here, and sometimes this happens on Fridays. It is a weekend here.
We'll wind up the session now.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
how was the session? This side one, this side.
Ma'am, the session was very enjoyable, ma'am, because you placed it as a game, no, ma'am. Usually all we enjoy game. Game is one which we all enjoy. So, game we enjoy the session. Thank you.
Is it audible, ma'am? Voice side. Yes, from the voice side. Anyone? Govind, Varun.
Actually, the session was very nice. So, through this session, we have learned many things, like how to communicate with our clients and all the things. And last, I have one doubt. So, I just want to ask question. Like, I have a doubt in Tamil Nadu, the meaning of come means like in the law, like so what do we use like for American clients or other countries, like they use are you living with me, they ask like are you living with me, so by like that time, so what do we use, how can we answer them, like the hurdles I'm facing?
I'm so sorry. There are some network issues here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 1 second, ma'am. Am I audible? Am I clear? Am I clear now? Okay. So, few clients from America and other countries, they use phrases like different phrases like I'm living or going out of the profession. They say I'm living. So, how to answer for that? And these are phrases they use. So, how to answer that? Because you say the British English is a perfect English and they maintain the grammar, these things. So how to face and how to answer and how to respond correctly for the other countries like that.
all right. So as you move from one country to another, there'll be a little bit of change in the slangs that they use, the vocabulary that they use. So as you start to live in that country, it's important to know the local usages. For example, the Tamil in Chennai may not be the same in the Tamil in Coimbatore. The vocabulary will be different. The usages must be different, right? So like this, when you try to understand the local slang of that language, you may be able to go with the flow. So it's very important when you go to another country, you understand the local slangs there when you communicate with the people. Thank you.
So yes, next on the vote of thanks program. Before that, a few things I'd like to share with you all. First thing, this can't get any better than this, because Shanti Amma relative Archana. So we all, for these many years she's working here. She has worked as a guest lecturer here with us, and we didn't know that you were related to her, ma'am. And today it is the play of divine, because there is one saying that Swamiji says, which is the totality supplies when the fraction demands. When the fraction is demanding, the totality completely supplies. And the totality has totally supplied Archana ma'am today for us. So that's why I'm saying this can't get any better. And the other thing, what Swamiji says in World Peace Plans, he's asking for one universal language, which could be English. He's suggesting that it could be in English. And one language for the nation. And one language regionally. So totally there should be only 3 languages which a man can speak of. So that is something Swamiji says. And if you wanted to learn that universal language, it is not mandatory that you should learn that language. You know, the SMS language பண்றோம் இல்லையா இப்போ உதாரணத்துக்கு சக்கரம் அப்படினு சொல்றாங்கன்னா சக்கரத்தை CHAKRAM அப்படினு வந்து நம்ம மொழி அப்படியே வந்து transliteration னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Transliteration சொல்லுவாங்க. இது அப்படி இருக்கிற languageல மாத்துறது. ஆனா அது phonetically ஒரு sound மாறாது. So this is one of the plan which was given by Swamiji to bring the world peace, so that there is no discrimination over languages. So from the college side, we are placing you a request that please do link with Swamiji's subjects, ma'am, and take initiations. We'll be very glad, and even the entire Sky system will be glad that we get a good athlete as well as a good English professor. Thank you, ma'am. And now let us move on to the word of thanks. I request Mrs. K. Anuradha, ma'am, assistant professor, to give word of thanks.
Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. So it's a great honor to say word of thanks for this workshop. Better? Am I audible, ma'am? Okay. So it's a great honor to propose the word of thanks on this workshop. Better English for Yoga. On behalf of Vedantri Maharishi College of Yoga, we would like to convey our thanks to Ms. Archana Vishwanathan Gupta, ma'am, a senior lecturer in English language. Ma'am has conducted a wonderful session which motivated our students. So we have taught us different styles. So let me give an activity on different styles, how they have understood. Okay? Okay. So first one is, so we have heard a speech. So who is a yoga teacher who gained more income on YouTube channel? Yoga teacher who gained income. So I am asking questions based on your speech, ma'am. Okay, okay. Yes? Good, give her a clap. Then the second question. Yoga teacher means dash and dash, which is a combination of dash. Yoga teacher means dash, dash, which is a combination of dash. Dash and dash is equal to dash. Yes? Yes. Yoga and English? Yogish. Good. So the third question. Which country use yoga in English? UK. Good. What is the full form of LW? Good. So the last question. What are the two P's? You did activity today. Two P's. P, S. Prepositions and polite. Good. So, learning or audio learning. Okay. So the second learning. The second learning. Can you tell preposition further? The bonus on the chat. The bonus. The bonus inside the box. The bonus. So this is visual learning, right? And the third one. So this is a example, lemon. Okay, lemon means you should do like this in a group. Okay, you should do like the first letter. L. Okay. So I will tell a tree. So I will give 1 minute. You should make a gesture on that letter. Okay. A tree. Volume. Veena. Say afterwards. Apply line allowed on the word. So Veena. Volume. Distance. Odisha. Time. Yellow. Akash. Kite. And nut. Fire. And water. House. And earth. Tree. So I will give 1 minute time. You should do that. Okay? So let me see. And the last one, pose. Pose is pronoun. Volume Veena. Sorry, not Veena, umbrella. What is that group act? Akash, right.
Ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Would you mind if I leave? I wish I could stay much longer, but I have some important work. Is it okay if I leave? Is the workshop over?
Just 1 minute. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Sit down. Sit down, please. Everybody sit down.
Okay. Okay. Actually, so then activity, kinesthetic activity, which is a thank you. Okay. Say thank you to ma'am. Okay. So we have learned different styles of learning today: audio, visual, and kinesthetic learning. So let us all guys come to Guriya stage. By the grace of the divine, Miss Archana and Gupta. Her physical health, her mental health, her prosperity and increased wisdom. So finally, knowledge of language is the doorway to wisdom. Hence, yoga students need to know not only English, not only yoga, combination of both, that is Yogish. So thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful and mind-blowing session. Next, I would like to thank Professor Dr. for welcoming me, Shanti ma'am for introduction, and Aruna ma'am for medication and comparing for admission. And the last but not the least, the listeners, you. Thank you all. Thank you, Advisable.
Thank you for having me today. It was a pleasure and an honor to be with you. I would like to thank the authorities, the principal, also the other lecturers who've been here throughout the session. It's an honor to be with you, and I really pray and wish you all the best for your future. I'm sure I would love to hear more feedback from you, but thank you so much for having me. It's also a big honor for me. Var Havalamudan.